Hi everyone, welcome back to the WebDriver tutorial, and this is day 30. So we have been learning the frameworks, and in the previous tutorial we learned about how to parameterize your test cases with the different options. So the options that we learn is we learn about parameter annotation, okay, which allows you to pass a single value to your test case. Okay, single value in the sense single set, like single iteration. You cannot pass multiple iteration to a test. And then we learn one more annotation, data provider annotation. What data provider does is, a data provider is basically a method. Let me go back to the code, directly show you the code. So in Amazon test we wrote a data provider. So we wrote a data provider with parallel equal to true allow makes your test case to run parallelly. This is data provider annotation is written before a method, and that method must return two-dimensional object array. So this is two-dimensional object array. For those who don't know what is two-dimensional object array, two-dimensional object array, it means rows and columns, you can imagine. Okay, so I created a two-dimensional object array. When I say object, that means this array can hold any data type. It can hold string, integer, or any other type of object as well, because it's an object is the parent class of all the classes in Java. So I created a two-dimensional object array. The name is data, and I'm creating object as well as initializing on the same line. So here only I'm initializing that two-dimensional object array. The first row is you can see 3 rows and 1 column only. So 3 rows and 1 column is the structure of my two-dimensional object array. And the first row is Pixel, second row is iPhone, third row is Samsung. Guys, it doesn't matter, you don't have to write similarly. You can actually write it on one line also. But if you want to imagine logically, then you should be imagining something like this format. Each of this curly bracket is actually a row. Perfect. So you can imagine like this. There are 3 rows passed from the data provider. Now how to bind this data provider to a test case? So we have @test data provider is equal to get search data, the name of the method, and in this test case I'm actually taking a parameter. Now how many columns are there? There is just 1 column, so obviously there will be only 1 variable here. So if this method will actually be called 3 times, for each of the row. So for first time, Pixel will be passed as a product. For second time, again this method will be called with a product as iPhone. And third time, same method will be called with product as a Samsung. I said parallel is equal to true to the data provider. That means the test case which is using this data provider can be executed parallelly. So if I select that specific test case and simply run it, okay, run as test-ng-test, it will run in parallel because we specified parallel is equal to true to the data provider. So this method can run parallelly based on how many rows are there. So for each 1 row, it is considered as a 1 test case execution count. So right now there are 3 rows. That means the total test count will be 3. I hope it is clear. And then the remaining page object model is the same that we have been using from long time. This is my homepage class, Amazon homepage class. I created object of homepage class using page factory.init element. There I am passing the driver and the class name for which I want to create object and initialize it. So on the homepage object, I am calling a search product method by passing the product name to type into the search box. Search product will type the product name, will click on a search button, and then it will return the result page object. I am taking this Amazon search result page object, and on the result page object, you can again do further, you can call further methods whichever you like. So for example, I want to call get searched result text. Search result text is the text which is displayed on the search result that tells me that what is exactly searched and those, So I'm taking the actual search result text from the web page, from the page object, and comparing that actual text with the expected text. This is my expected text. So this was the test case in short, and the data provider annotation that we have is this. So this was the simplest form. Now I'm going to tell you a few more advanced things in the data provider. Okay. I will better create a new test suite that will help you to understand it more deeply. So in that case, what I will do is first, I need to have some sample application. So I'm using demo.testfire.net application. This is kind of an online banking login application. It's not a real application. Online banking login, just click on that. The username, it asks for username and password. The username is jsmith. Password is demo1234. Okay, you can log in with the jsmith demo1234. And once a login is done, you can have you can select some specific account, go to that account, you can get the balance of that specific account. If you want, you can balance of the other account. I think this account has, okay, it is the same account, right? This account has a balance in a minus, like that. So what I'm going to do is, I will create a test case, so that test case basically perform login with the user account, select the bank account and check the balance is as per expected. Okay, so this is the test case, but the thing is, the username, password, or the bank account, and again the balance will be different. Now let's say you have 10 username passwords. Again, one of the user may accounts, right? So let's say one user is having 2 or 3 accounts, something like that, and the bank balance will be again different for each of the user, for each of the account actually. So you have users. You got the test case, right? What I actually want to automate. So I'm going here in the test package. Let's create a new test. The name I will give is, let's say, Altero bank test. So yeah, that's my test class. As per the framework standard, the test class should extend the base test, so that we will automatically get the driver object and everything, before method also. So I'm saying base test. Perfect. So it is time to directly write a test case. @test public void test account balance. Okay, this is a normal test case. I want to make it parameterized. I'm expecting 3 parameter. The first, 4 parameter. The first parameter is string username. Second parameter is password. Third parameter is account, the account which has to be selected. And the fourth parameter is expected balance. Okay, so these are the different parameters. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are total 5 parameters, right? 4 parameters. Okay, so I do have the test case ready. The parameters are written. Now you need to take care of one thing, that is before method. Before method, you should be launching the URL, because the before method written in the base test, this code basically launches your browser, but it doesn't open your specific URL, because that URL is specific to each of the test class. So in Amazon test, the before method is again written, and that before method will open the Amazon URL. The test class which I created just now for Altero Mutual, should have a before method, and this is going to open public void open Altero mutual page. Okay, and what I will say there is I will simply say driver, call a method, driver method. So driver method will automatically return the driver instance of my current thread. If you are running test cases parallelly, still it is going to return you a different object for each of the test thread. So I'm saying driver dot get and then pass the URL http:// the URL I should be passing here is demo.testfire.net. Okay, so that it will open the URL. So we will also require the page classes, right? Because we are using a page object model. So we do have page package, pages, page package, then page.amazon. I'm creating one more package for my Altero mutual pages, So I'm saying page dot, let's say AM. AM stands for Altero mutual, or you can give ALTORO mutual. Guys, we generally write underscore as the word separator in package name. Okay, this is kind of Java standard. So I'm just creating that package. You see that package is created. You will see that package twice, here as well as here. Now this is issue with the Eclipse. If you refresh the page, refresh the project, it will only show you one package. So this is a known issue with the Eclipse. So don't worry. There is actually only one package. Either you use any package, that's fine. So Altero mutual is the package. And in that package, I'm creating a class, let's say home page. Perfect. As the rule, we are using the framework, and the framework standard is all the page classes must extend the base page, right? In our case, the base page is actually only page, I guess, or base page. Let me check. Base page, right? So when you say base page, the base page has a parameterized constructor which takes the WebDriver object. So if you are extending base page, then you must write a constructor that will call the constructor of a base page, which is actually taking WebDriver object. So let's add a constructor. That constructor is taking WebDriver driver object, and the driver is straight away for sent to the super. Super means the parent constructor. Okay, so we need that as well. Also, by extending base page, we automatically get the method like driver, get URL, and any common reusable methods also will be created here. You can create it here, and it will be accessible in all the page classes. Okay. Perfect. So I do have a home page. Now if you imagine, let me just sign it off, yeah, and just go to the home page. Guys, this is my home page. As soon as you land on a home page, we need to click on online banking login link, okay, so that the login page will open. So this is the first step, So online banking login, let me copy the text, and there I'm writing @find by, okay, we are using page object model with a page factory. So @find by, and this is a hyperlink, guys, with a link text. So you can straight away give that link text and say web element. Guys, we are not using this web element outside the class, page class, so always make it private. Okay, that is another guideline of a framework. So private web element, let's say link login page. Okay, so that's my web element. If you say page factory.init element, automatically this element will be initialized. Automatically the driver.find element will be invoked internally. We don't need to care about it. The next method I will write is public public void click, or you can say open login page. So I'm saying open login page. And how do we open a login page? So what we do is we just simply say that element dot click. So if you click on that element, obviously this is going to open the login page. Let me show you. See, I'm going to click on this link. It opens the login page. But guys, as another rule, like we already learned a concept that is page chaining. So if you are calling this method actually changing your web page. So the next web page is opening is the login page. So what I will do is, let me create a login page under the Altero Mutual package, login page. Okay, and again the rules, like don't forget to extend base page. That's the framework standard that we created. If you are extending base page, you need to have a constructor. Okay, so let me add that. Guys, don't keep this to-do lines. You know, this is looks your code very clumsy. This makes your code very clumsy. So always clean it up, okay, whenever you don't need it. So I'm writing on this login page. Let me declare the web elements which I will be using from the login page. So I see there is a text box. Let's inspect it. The text box has ID as UID. So I will locate that element by ID equal to UID, and private web element txt user ID. You can say user ID. Similarly, you will do it for password and the login button. Okay, so let me just find out the locator for password box. It is passw. I'm going a little bit faster because we already practiced this so many times. And a login button. So for a login button, I see there is no ID, but there is a name, button submit. So I will use that name, button submit. This is button login. Perfect. So I have 3 web elements declared here. Let me adjust space here. Okay. Now page class contains 2 things. One is the web elements, and second is the methods which works on those web elements. So I want to write a method. That method which that will denote the operation that you do on a login page. So the operation which we do on a login page is performing login, right? So I'm writing a method public void perform login. Perform login should be taking 2 parameters, username and the password. Okay, uname and password is the parameter. So it's very easy. Just take the web element dot send keys, pass a username here. Okay, txt password dot send keys, type password here, and the third line is button login dot clicked. Okay, now we are done with writing the basic method and the fundamental elements which are required in the login page. Now the thing we need to work on is linking between home page and the login page. So right now I'm in a home page. So in home page, if you call this method open login page, it should click on the link and return the object of login page. So I'm saying return object of login page. How do you create an object of login page using page factory? So page factory class has a static method, init element, pass the driver. We get driver by calling the driver method, and then page class to proxy, which class you want to create object. So the class is login page dot class. Okay, obviously this line will give you error because we declare this method as void return type. So you need to change that return type to the login page, and this is it. Once it is done, now come back, go to the next page. In login page, after performing a login, see, I'm typing username jsmith demo 1234, saying login. After typing username password, we go to the user home page, or you call it as a main page. It depends on you what name you want to give. I will call this as a user home page. All right, so let's come back and create the page class for user home page. Okay, I will call this as a user home page. There is a difference between home page and user home page. Okay, don't get confused. Instead of home page, you can say landing page or something also to avoid the confusion. So user home page, I will go a little bit faster, guys, this time. Now on that user home page, the elements that we will be working on is the drop down list. Okay, so let me inspect this. It has a select. Okay, there is a ID list accounts. I will just declare that as a web element. I'm sorry, find by is the annotation. ID, the ID I already copied. Private web element. You give any name, let's say list accounts. Okay, and there is a go button also that we need, so just select that go button. Find by ID, it has ID is equal to button get account. So private web element button go. I hope this is clear. Guys, on this page I want to add one more check. I want to check whether hello John Smith is displayed or not. So I'm saying hello John Smith. This is H1 tag. I don't see any ID name or something. In that case, you might have to take help of your parent or something like that. Locate the parent and then go to the H1. But I know that this web page is having only single H1 tag. So you see one of one matching element here. So there is only one H1 tag. So you can say find by tag name. The tag name is only H1. So we declared those web element in which you are interested. I'm saying this web element as a welcome message. You decide what name you want to give to this object. Now it is time to write the method. Now first method I will write is public. I'm making public because this method will be called outside the class, outside the package, into some test case, into some other package. So I'm making it public. Let's say get welcome message. And get welcome message should be returning me return, okay, that element dot get text. I want to return the text of that element. So return data type is going to be string, obviously, and that's it. Okay, this is the one method I have written it for reading the welcome text. So in my case it will be hello John Smith. There is the next method. I want to select the account. So public void select account. It will take account as a parameter, the value which you want to select as a parameter. So let's say I want to select this 41 account. Let me inspect it. Go here. There you will see this value. This is the value which you want to select. So I'm saying account text. So how to select a value from a drop-down list? We already learned that part in basics of Selenium WebDriver, but I'm just writing object of select. Okay, select is equal to new select. There you have to pass the web element, in which you want to do selection operation. So the web element is this actually list account. So just pass it here, and on select object call select by. There are three ways: select by index, select by value, select by visible text. Excuse me. So right now I will be performing that selection operation using the visible text. The visible text is actually a parameter to my method. So I'm saying select dot select by visible text. And what is the visible text? Visible text is the value which is coming as a parameter to my method. So once the account selection has done, I will write another method that will say click go button. Okay, I don't need any parameter to click go button because this is simply just clicking on a button, right? So I'm saying button go dot click. Okay, so click go button is the method which I wanted to call. Okay, I hope it is clear. So I wrote three methods. This is first method that will return the message, second method that will select the value only, and there is the third method that will click on a button. If you want, you can combine both the methods together and have one method, or you can write another method that will call both this method. Now for example, select or go to account, something like that, public void go to account. The name, you decide what name you want to give. Okay, so in go to account, I will call first select account with the account text, and second is click go button. So in go to account, I am calling two methods, select account that will perform selecting the value from a drop down list, and click go button. After click go button, you should be returning next page object. So the next page object is basically account statement object, or you can say account overview or something like that. Let me show you the next page object. Let's say you are selecting something from here, so you will say go, and there you will see account history page which has credit and debit transactions. So this is like an account statement or something, So you can say account history page. So let me go and create account history page also. Class account history page. Again, as per rule, extends base page, and don't forget to write the parameterized constructor that will call super with the driver parameter. And on this web page, now you decide what elements you want to have on this web page. So let me just inspect. So this is the current account number which is selected. Okay, the current account number is span ID is equal to CT10 underscore CT10 underscore content main account. You can use this complete ID if you want to, but I don't feel comfortable in reading this complete ID. So what I'm going to do is I will be using one CSS selector where I will say that ID should be containing, so star equal to, if you remember CSS selector, the ID should be containing main underscore account ID. So you can see that one matching element. So that's my locator. Okay, so the locator which I'm going to write actually is this ID star is equal to main account. So star equal to means contains, that ID attribute contains main account. @ find by, I want to say ID. Oh, not ID, it is CSS selector, right? The syntax I'm using is CSS selector. Private web element, and let's say current ID, something like that, txt current account number, not ID. Okay, it's account number, sorry. Now I declare this web element. I want to have a method that will return the value, or that will return the text of the current account number. So I'm writing public method. Okay, that method will return string get account number, return this dot get text. Okay, so if you want, you can just simply call the account number. But again, on this page, I'm more interested into getting this detail, current account balance. So let's inspect that element. I think this is going to be a little bit trickier. okay, it has actually main balance to ID directly, then in that case it is easy, in that case it is easy to find out or to locate this element. But assume that you don't have this locator, then what is the option? The option is you will have to locate this element first, a TD with the available balance, and you need to find out the next sibling TD. Okay, if you want, I can give you a demo that how you can do that. This is just only for practicing the locator, guys. Okay, we already have a unique ID for that balance, but only for practicing the locator we are seeing this example now. So slash star star, that means any tag name with the text account balance. Okay, now you can see that this is not working, it says 0 of 0 matching. Now why is this happening? This happens because there are so many spaces after account balance. You need to be very exact if you are saying text open bracket equal to. Now there is another workaround is you can use contains. So let me use that XPath access. We already learned all this thing, but it's been a long time, so I hope it will help you again to rebrush up. Contains text and then account balance bracket complete. So you see that 1 of 1 matching element and the element is getting selected, this TD is getting selected. What I will say is I will say slash FOLLOWING dash SIBILING colon TD. Okay, I think there is mistake. It is just SIBLING. Okay, so I'm saying slash following sibling TD. So by saying slash following sibling TD, I'm able to locate this TD, and on this TD, if you simply say get text, you can get the minus 8000 value. If you want to be very specific about a span, just say slash and SPAN. Now you are actually locating this only span tag, not the complete TD. Let me tell you guys, anything is fine. Even though if you locate the TD and say get text, or you locate span and say get text, both are going to return you the same value. Okay, so this is the locator which we created just now using XPath. So I'm saying find by XPath. This is just one example, how you can locate the element if it is complicated. Web element txt current balance. Now I want to write another method that will return the current balance text. So public string get current balance. You can give any method name, there is no any such restriction, but it has to be some meaningful name, return the element dot get text. Okay, perfect. So now come back to the user home page. There has to be some linking, right? The user home page should be returning the next page object, that is account history page. So I'm here writing return page factory dot init elements. There you have to pass the driver. So driver open bracket close bracket and the class name. Class name means for which class you want to create an object. So it is account history page dot class. You need to change that return type void to the account history page. Okay, perfect. So this is done. I created 4 page classes and we have the linking relation between also. Now let's come back to the test case. Now let's work on the test case first. So very first thing, go to the home page. Home page is equal to create the object of home page, page factory dot init elements. The driver you will get it by this way. You have to specify the class name also. Okay, I got object of a home page. On the home page, I will say open login page, right? The method that we wrote. And open login page method is now going to return login page object. So let's take that login page object. Okay, don't forget to import the pages because these pages are present in different package. So you need to import that classes because it is present in different package. So I have login page object. On login page, I will say like perform login method. Pass the username. My username is username, and the password is I will pass it as it is. So I pass username and password to this perform login method. Perform login method returns which page object now? Why it is returning void? Let's come back. Oh, okay. My bad. Perform login method should be returning the user homepage object, right? So return page factory dot. We actually forgot to link here. So init element driver and the user homepage dot class. Oops, sorry again. Change the return type from void to this class. Perfect. Now come back to the test case. This is my test case. There I am saying user home page. User home is equal to login page dot perform login, and don't forget to import class. User home page. You know what I will say there is. I will say go to account. Go to account and the account text. My account text is just account here. Okay, go to account, and this go to account will have two methods. First is select account, then click on go button, then create object of account history and then return. But before that, if you want to verify the welcome message, you can have an assertion. Okay, it is always good to have assertions at the different level. So once you get a user home page, you can have assertion, assert dot assert equal. The actual value is, sorry, user home page, user home, sorry, what is the user home, right? USER home dot get welcome message. The welcome message has to be hello John Smith. So I will say welcome. Third parameter is failure message. If the expected actual is not matching, the test case will fail, and this is the failure message. So welcome text, or you can say greeting text failed. This failure message is only added if the assertion is failed. Next, username dot go to account. Okay, I called that method. This go to account method is now returning account history page. So let's take that account history page. So let's say account page. I will simply say account page object, and now it is time to confirm the account number as well. You know, the account number which is shown on the account history is this account number. Okay, I want to confirm this account number and the value which I selected from the drop down is correct. So I'm saying assert dot assert true. I'm using assert true, not actual, not equal, because those values are not exactly equal. So I'm saying account dot contains the actual value, the actual ACC page dot get account number. So what is expected is the account which I selected, you know, go to account, the account which I selected should be containing the this value, you know, whatever value is there on the page. So that's what I'm saying. So the failure message, I will write some details. Was not containing. I'm giving past present tense. Oh, sorry, past tense, because we see this report after execution. Was not containing the expected value. The expected value is, that means actual value, you know, this one. Oops, sorry, yeah. Don't forget to write concatenation. Done. So I added one verification point. Sorry, this was second verification point. Now the third verification point is the balance. So let me get, now this time I will use assert dot assert equal, because I want to have exact matching case, assert equal, the actual value you will get it from account ACC page dot get current balance. I think there is a typo. Let me correct that typo. The U has to be in lowercase. Perfect. The expected value is, I already have a parameter, right? The expected balance. So I'm just pasting it here. If the test case is getting failed, you can have failure message, account balance did not match. That's it. Okay. Oops. Just start full stop here. That's all. So this completes the test case. So in test case, you can see only business logic is written. You don't see any driver.find element, any locator or anything like that. We have distributed that logic into different page classes. So I hope you also, this session also helped you to practice and learn the page object model framework again. Now the thing is, we have a test case that is taking a parameter, but we have not written a data provider that will pass the data. So what I will do is, I will create a data provider. Okay. So I'm saying a class. Usually people write data provider in the same class, like in my previous example, in the previous tutorial, we wrote test case, and just below that we wrote, sorry, where is that? Yeah. We wrote a test case, and just below that we wrote data provider. But what I will do this time is, this time I won't be writing data provider here. Instead, what I will do is, I will create a separate class. Let's say Altoro Mutual Data Providers, and I will write all the data provider method in this one class, for Altoro Mutual. If you want, you can have a separate package also. So Vikas com.vikas.dp, DP stands for data provider, and the class name is Altoro Mutual Data Providers. So I will say finish. So you can see that there is a class created. Inside that class, I'm going to write a method. So public object, that method has to return two-dimensional object array, right? Public object, a two-dimensional object array, because it is a data provider. Get account balance data. Now the method name, you decide what name you want to give. Guys, this is not a normal method. This is data provider. So just don't forget to write data provider notation. Okay, that's one thing. Now second thing is, in the previous example, sorry, let me go to the Amazon test. The data provider is non-static method. Is it a static method? No, it is not a static method. The data provider was getting called on the current object. The test case is also present on the current object. The test case was also non-static. But now the thing is, I moved that data provider into some other class. So what TestNG does is, TestNG doesn't create object of that class. TestNG directly tries to call that data provider as a static method. So you should be declaring, if you are having data provider outside your test class, then make sure you keep that as a static, because this data provider method will be called on a class name. Hope it is clear. Now it is time to create the two-dimensional object array. Okay, just like the previous example, I'm creating data array, new object. It's a two-dimensional object array. Now just start declaring. So the first thing I want to declare is, oh sorry, let me correct my mistake. Object. The first row is username jsmith, second is password 1234. The third thing is the value which you want to select from a drop down list. Okay, let me go back here and see the value which you want to select from a drop down list is this. So I will first select, let's say 41, inspect. It has to be exactly matching, guys. Don't make any mistake. It has to be exactly matching, okay, because I will be passing this value as select by visible text. So when I say visible text, it means it has to be exactly same in between these option tags, starting option tag, ending option tag. Now the third is the expected balance for this account. So for 41, the account balance should be minus 8,000. Okay, that is my expected balance. Now similarly, I will do it for other test case. So J Smith, demo 1234. Now the account is different this time. Why is that balance is not changing? Oh, looks like page is still loading. Waiting. Yeah, the page is still loading. Alright, what I will do is I will just go back to my accounts and see if it loads properly. Okay, so I just picked up some random value. Let's say 12,000 is my expected value for this account. The Ultra Mutual site still had some issue while loading the account balance. It's very slow, but okay, I can see the correct value now. So let me take that correct value. Okay, so 788 is the expected value. So this is my data provider. What you can do is additionally, like, by default what we do is we take the method name as the data provider name, but you can give some separate name also. So I will give a name to my data provider. Now that name you can decide whatever you want. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a constant public static final string, let's say DP starting something, that means data provider. So it is having like username, pass, account, expected balance. You can see, like this is something like the name of my data provider. So the name I will give is like DP, username, password. It could be anything, it doesn't matter actually. Expected balance, something like that. Account. Alright. So this is a constant. That constant I will give it here. So I hope you can see that. The constant I'm giving it here. Alright. Now come back to the test case. You need to link this data provider to the test case. So I'm coming to the test case. At the test, I will say open bracket, data provider is equal to the name of the data provider. What is the name of my data provider? The name is DP username pass account expected. This is actually a final variable, it is a constant and it is public. This is static. So we write class name, then the member, right? Static member. So it starts with the DP. Yeah. So this is my data provider name. But guys, the data provider is written in a separate class. So if the data provider is written in a separate class, you also need to specify one more thing. So there is a data provider class attribute which you have to give is equal to the class name you have to give, So in my case, the class name is Altoro Mutual Data Providers dot class. So this is the syntax you have to give if your data provider is present outside your test class, So yeah, this is done. Let me see if there is some mistake. Oh, okay. I forgot to save that file actually. Nothing much. Done. So this is my test case, and let's run this test case. If you want this test case to run parallelly, okay, make that data provider parallel. So you can make that data provider parallel by saying parallel is equal to true. By default value is false. But for now, just keep it as it is because already the site is slow. I don't want to make it parallel. Okay, come to the test case. Yeah, this is the test case. Now run it. So how many rows I have passed? So in that data provider, I passed 2 rows, 1, 2, 3, and 4 column. 2 rows and 4 column. So you will see the first test case is running. Those 4 columns will be treated as the 4 parameter to a test case. Okay, the first test case got executed. It is happening very fast because it's automation testing, right? We are not doing it manually. So okay, login is happening. Okay, check the account and that's it. So let me check if if the test case got passed or failed. Oh, there is one failure. Not sure why it is that. So let's come back and see. This test case got failed. Now why is this test case got failed? The reason is it says account balance did not match. Expected balance was minus 8,000 but actually found is 3,000. So it could be my issue that this expected value is not correct. So what you can do is, let me confirm that for 41 accounts, say select account and wait. So actually account balance is 3,000. I'm not sure why I took a minus 8,000, but which is wrong number. So it is correct value is 3,000. Perfect. So if I run this test case, this is going to pass. Now this is what a data provider is, how you can pass multiple rows, multiple columns, how those values are sent to a test case. Now come to the test case. Some people do some variations. Let's say there are 10 values you have to pass. So you will have to write 10 variables to the test case, 10 parameters to a test case. Let's say you want to pass 40 variable, 40 values. Then is it a good idea to write 40 variables here? No, right? So what people does is, there is another option. What you can do is simply just remove all the values and take object of map. So map has a key and the value. Okay. So I'm taking a map params. I hope it is clear. I'm importing map from java.util. So map is only one object that I'm actually going to take. So I will say DP. There I will create a new variable, actually new data provider I want. Okay, so new data provider is the same thing. I'm going to create a new data provider that will not return so many values. It will only return all the values as a map. Okay, so let me copy paste the data provider. I'm writing a separate data provider for that. Okay, the DP map underscore. Okay, that's the name. Get account balance data as map, as map. So you need to create a map, right? So I'm creating a hash map. Okay, hash map of string, and the value is also string. So you will say map is equal to new hash map. Don't forget to write the key data type. Oops, key data type, key and value data type, string. Okay, and put the values inside the map. So let's put the value inside the map. So I'm saying map dot add, sorry, put. Okay, so what I want to put is, I want to put username. The username which I want to put is jsmith. Next I want to put is the password, then account, and then expected balance. So I'm saying password, account, expected balance. So password is this, account is this, and the expected balance is this. Perfect. So this is one map object. Okay. Now there is a next map object you need to create. So let's say this is map 1. Okay. Similarly, you need to have a map, another map object for the second row. Copy the value. JSmith demo 1234 is common. Account number and the expected value is going to change. and then minus 788. That's it. Okay. So I do have two map objects. So this is map 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. Perfect. So I do have two map objects. Guys, remember the data provider method should always return object array. So what I'm going to do is I will create a new object array, new object array, but this object array will have map objects in it. So I'm saying map1 and comma map2 object. Return. Okay, so I'm creating a two-dimensional object array, putting both the map objects here, and this is like one row and this is another row. Okay, so there are two rows, one column. So one column, it means one object, and that one single object will be passed to my test case. So if you come to the test case, so that test case will have single object. So how do you get a values from that object? So it is actually a map. So map, you will say get, pass the key. The key is username. For password, again you have to say params dot get, pass the key, password. Similarly for account, params dot get account. Okay, the same thing you will write it here. The expected balance, you will get something like this, exp. Let me just confirm the key names are right. Go back to the data provider and confirm those key names are right. Okay, so these are the key names. So exp balance is the key name. So most of the time, people do a mistakes in the key names, and the workaround for that is use enums, so that we create a custom data. What is this? Okay, this account. Okay, params.get account, I will say. Params.get account, and that should be containing this value. Okay, so I created a test case that is taking only single object. So let's say in future you want to pass 40 parameters to a test case. You don't have to create 40 parameter variable here. What you can simply do is just create a map, take the one single object of a map, and it will have all the values, whichever you want. So on that map object, just call what value you want to read. So map.get username, get password, get account, get expected balance, it will return you that specific values. If you want to run this test case, select it, right click run, and confirm whether it works. See, the data provider is different. We created a separate data provider, but it is present in the same data provider class. Okay, the test case is running. It should be quick. Okay, that's the second iteration, because there are actually two rows. And oh, not sure why it is running fourth time. Looks like it's running complete class. I didn't select one specific method to run, so let's wait. So it's running both the test methods which I have, and each of them are having two iterations, so total test count will be 4. Okay, perfect. So you see that total test case count is 4. The result you will see it here. Okay, let me just expand it so you will get the high level picture. So see, the test account balance is a method. Test account balance is a method. Another method is there, test account balance, but the parameters are different. These are overloading. This method was taking a parameter, 1, 2, 3, 4 string parameter, but this method is only taking a single object, and that is of a map. So it shows me the name is equal to value, name equal to value, name equal to value, and that way. Okay, I hope it is clear that how you can pass so many values to a test method using a data provider. Now what is next? We are almost done with the topic. I just wanted to give you a heads up that what you can do more things with a data provider. So in data provider, we have written this data hard-coded. In this data provider also we have hard-coded data, but this is not something that we actually do practically. So people, what they do is the people go with reading the data from the external source. Now when I say external source, it could be anything. It could be database, it could be a file, it could be anything, So mostly people go like the simplest case, I can create the Microsoft Excel file, okay, and have columns, let's say username, password, account, expected balance, and it will have all the entries, here. Let's say it is having, let's say 23 entries, from 2 to 24, that means 23 entries. So the data provider script, I will write some script here, okay, I will comment it out, okay, and there I'm writing to do statement. Write script to read Excel file, load data in two-dimensional object array, and then return. Okay, that script you will write it here. Or you can write some database queries or something like that in the data provider. You need to make sure that you are keeping the data into two-dimensional object array and then just return the data. Okay, that's all what you need to do. So that's going to be a further step. If you want to try, please go ahead with that. If you want to read the values from Excel, you will read Apache POI or some library, some libraries like Apache POI or JXL. I recommend using Apache POI for reading right in Excel. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you very much for attending. Let me know if you have any questions. I would be happy to answer your queries. Thank you very much.